Okay, well, what I was going to do, but it's raining, so this, that, or the other, was tell you about. I started studying volcanoes. That, of course, led me to Vesuvius. And that, of course, led me to the Roman Empire, Pompeii, Herculaneum, which then took me on to the Colosseum, because the Colosseum was built where it is because they literally hated the son of a bitch that that had that area, right? And he was, the descendant of Julius Caesar. And his name, of course, was Nero. And Nero fiddled while Rome burned. Whatever. Anyway, Nero had a statue of himself created at the entrance to the Golden Palace, because it was gold. I mean, everything was covered in gold, part of it. And then on next thing up is a lake, private lake just for him, blah blah blah, go sailing on, whatever he did. You know what I mean? So Nero had to commit suicide because he offended too many Romans. He took their possessions and their things and took their land and took everything from them. Not everything, but okay, for cinematic. We're doing on a video. He took everything! Oh my God! Okay, but he took people's land, he took people's things, and he built this opulent lifestyle, this city. It wasn't a castle, it wasn't a palace, it was a city. Hundreds of acres. I mean, it was huge. But Nero, that was normal for Nero. You know, Nero was from one of the wealthiest families in Rome. The wealthiest family in Rome, probably. It's how much money you have is like the length of your whatever. It's like immaterial. But it is what it is. Of course, Nero came from a long line that went back before Julius Caesar. Yeah, the Julius Caesar that they attribute Nero fiddling, I'm not even going to get into it. But anyway, a bunch of kids have been taught some really, really wrong history. But that's life. You got to get them to remember it, I guess. Hell, I don't know what. But the destruction of Nero's character was just something that happened. So, and that's the way they had to go after Nero, because if you explain to the common Roman how money was, taxes and this, there, the other, and all kinds of other stuff, and about, blah, 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 they would expose the whole system. So they made up stuff. It's kind of like the English did for the Welsh people. And it's like or the Pecks, or, you demonize your opponent. It's just, conflict 101. Well, the problem is that Nero did come up in that family. And that level of opulence and wealth was just, something that he was used to. And all he did was he transposed it to the middle of Rome, where everybody could see. That was his mistake. That, and being kind of like a person like I am, who is not in the center of the bell curve. Like, the reason I'm making this video is because the real video that I made, I of course made a statement in it where was talking about Caligula torturing people during, Roman dinner parties for entertainment. And, you know, I made the statement, well, at least he was multitasking. And then I started to bitch about, you know, how long the damn dinners were, and help, somebody's got to be doing something, because, you know, we ain't got that kind of time to just do nothing. So he, you know, this, there, or the others, without me even thinking about the person who's being tortured, you know. But my reaction to the person who's being tortured is, like, if they start screaming too loud, can you just speed this up because I don't want to hear this shit? Or, you know, blah, blah, blah. My fear is that we have people like me having more power than they probably should. And the responses of those people are not going to be what you think. Because when you come up in that environment, there is always trauma involved. It's not like even Buddha. When Buddha's father, and hell, the entire court, lied to Buddha, the big round guy who people worship, that one, which I'm sure he probably finds that funny. I mean, Buddha, his entire life was beautiful. His entire, you know, no one aged, this, there, or the other, da, 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 and Dad, you know, kept everyone around him, just basically, you know, sterilized his life and made it the best thing possible. Well, traumatized the kids so bad he came with religion or concept, a belief system. Trauma, you know, the reality is, people like me can mask. We have very high IQs. I have been told that I have 99.9. I remember 99.9% of what I read and what I see. I'm a visual learner. In order to have that ability, or I have that ability because there are other areas of my brain that don't operate the same way as most people's. My fear is that you have people like me in office and you don't know what the hell to do, because it's so much different of an understanding of a concept, of a belief system, and of this, there, or the other. So my advice is to anyone who's concerned, learn about history, because if you don't know about history, you are doomed to repeat it. Anyway, have a good one. I'm gonna get out of the rain.